My name is Russell Adam. I'm a director within the financial services team at Veredus. It's a team of 4 people covering asset and wealth management, both in Europe and in emerging markets. One of the key trends in our sector is the recent European legislation regarding capping of bonuses, which is quite a topical theme at the moment. What we're seeing already is other emerging markets taking advantage of that and actually luring bankers who are high performers into other financial centres, such as Singapore, Hong Kong, Zurich, Geneva, and other offshore centres. One of the results of this regulation, if it's brought through on a majority vote, is that fixed costs and salaries will rise in the city to compensate for the lack of an upside bonus earned for performance. There's 2 issues with this. One issue is that when there is a downturn or a change in economic circumstances, that means banks will have to make more redundancies, not less, because they've got high fixed costs to deal with. And secondly, it encourages people not to necessarily perform over and above their, if you like, their normal duties, which I do not think is a good thing for the City of London. A good example of this is RBS, which is majority owned by the government and us, effectively. And they've found it difficult to attract and retain high-quality bankers because of bonus capping and regulation around compensation. So that organisation is a good example of where these new regulations are going to be even more difficult to reward and retain staff. One of the key trends we're seeing within financial services is the rise and the expansion of hiring into Africa, and that's sub-Sahara as well as the whole of Africa. And obviously we've got South Africa, it's been quite a developed market. We've also got Angola, looking to bring in a stock exchange and create the creation of a new sovereign wealth fund, for example, driven by commodity surplus. So this is a trend we're seeing. So sovereign wealth funds are becoming more and more important as clients. The old days of private banking being a way of hiding wealth from either the taxman or from other stakeholders in that wealth, those days have long gone, particularly with the US putting a lot of pressure on financial centres to actually be more transparent and to abide by anti-terrorism laws and initiatives, which I think is a good thing. So private banking, again, is materially changing in terms of how banks manage those confidential assets. And this is a key theme that we see with our clients as being fundamental to where they're expanding their businesses. A lot of the work we're doing is related to emerging markets, not just because of the commodity-rich government hiring in those sectors, but because of the desire for individuals educated in developed financial centres to actually repatriate back to emerging markets. So we're seeing that in Asia, we're seeing that in the Middle East, and indeed in India as well. Candidates are looking for not just compensation, but good career prospects, good quality of life for the family. That may involve education. Obviously, you know, quality of life involves lots of things. It's not just about financial gain. And doing an expatriate contract can really broaden the family experience as well as the career options afterwards. So we're seeing longer term assignments in the Gulf, in Asia, and this is only a good thing as people learn more about different cultures and ways to do business. What we're seeing evidence of is far more international career paths. So people, rather than staying in one country and working all your lives in that country, far more international mobility, and that's what we're seeing, and obviously we're part of helping with that. The days of bash the banker, I think, are passing, which is a good thing. Banks do have a place in society and business. But there is a way of behaving responsibly, and I think the regulators that are involved in that sector now have got a handle on where there needs to be a tighter compliance culture. That said, it's asset managers and private banks. That's a very different thing to trading and taking bets with proprietary capital. So there are different segments within financial services, so you can't generalize. And I think that's one of the things that's come out of the financial crisis, that it's easy to generalize when it's populist, but actually when you drill down, every part of the city has its benefits, weaknesses and strengths.